Okay, a very good evening to all of my friends and relatives, well-wishers, and those of you who are so used to watching us on Thursday night. Welcome to our program once again. And it's been, very busy and very rainy, and sometimes very dry. But we're here. If you can hear me, that means you're here. And that's what's important. And you're alive, hopefully you're well, and you're following the rules, and you're feeling better. Some of you don't like to follow rules, so you're not going to get better, but nothing I can do about that. Some of you would have come a little late and would not have made it, to be able to see us today again. But if that's the case, you have my sympathy, and I'm really sorry about that. But, we really can't save everyone. We try to, but we don't know who that 4% is going to be. When you have a 96% guarantee, then 4% is not going to be able to make it, and we don't know who that's going to be. So we just hope and pray that we can increase that 4% number, and that it's not going to be any of you, But we're here, and we've got some good information and some vital information that you need to see that we're going to get to at a little point where a friend of mine who watches my program from overseas, and I guess he's impressed with it. He sends me information, and I forward it to you, and there are a few people who do that, and I appreciate them for making their contribution towards making your life or making our lives a little better, First, I want to talk about something that is very sad. I have a very serious passion for having good road surfaces for us to drive on, and unfortunately, maybe it's not being gotten to fast enough, or maybe it's not important to some people. But one of the holes that I was fortunate to come out of, a family wasn't. And it happened just a couple of days after I went into that hole. They were on their way to Linden, and because of a hole on the road, on the highway, just over a bridge, partly the driver, and it wasn't speeding, so I don't want to say it's speeding. The driver got into the hole, lost control, because it was so big or deep, and she ended up on the other side of the road where the lives of her mother and her brother was taken, They lost their lives because of a hole in the highway, and that only happened days ago. I don't know when persons are going to realize how important it is to patch little holes before they become trenches. I don't know when people are going to realize the importance of looking out for others, and not because they may not be driving there, it is not important. I don't know when it's going to get to that point where the people are cared for more than the things of the world. If we were to focus on taking care of people, then we will see their needs, and we will be able to somehow do whatever we can to meet them halfway, at least halfway, so that they can be satisfied and they can be contented that at least you're trying. I don't know when we're going to get there. So far, it doesn't happen. I'm not ashamed to say it, but it's really sad that we lost the lives of a mother and a son and a brother in the same vehicle, one time. And I understand that one of the other siblings right now is fighting for her life. There was a family heading back to Linden, and really sad, man, really, really sad. I know the spot, I know the hole, I fell into it, and I felt my car is a larger car, and it's heavier, so it wouldn't react the same way as a lighter, smaller car. And I know I've been driving that highway since I was 13 years old. I know what happened there. I knew it from the time it was a smooth surface where you could roll a dime and it will just roll and roll and roll until it stops, to the point where it's at now where if you have a pregnancy and you go there, you can lose a baby. Seriously. If you want to have an abortion, take the Linden-Suisac Highway. You will get through. I mean, it's that bad, you know? It's like a roller coaster waiting to take lives. And unless you know it, and you know it well, it's never the same road all the time. If you pass there 1 week and go back another week, it's not the same road you passed there the week before. That's how bad it is. Because you have people who are traversing the highway with heavy loads of lumber and sand and all sorts of things that the road is not built to handle. It's not built to handle that. And apparently nobody cares, you know? So we're going to continue to suffer because of the people who are not caring enough to stop the suffering. And that's a sad thing, right? It really made my skin, made me quiver when I heard it. You know, I heard it the same day. And the person said to me, "Doc, you know what? I don't know what happened to you, but you said it and it happened." I said, "What happened?" He said, "That hole that you went into, somebody went in there and they died." I think sometimes people think I'm just talking, you know, but I know. I know what I'm talking about. Trust me, I know. I've been driving for a long, long, long time, and I've been doing a lot of stuff for a long time. But it's not important. I can't really make much of a difference. But wherever I can, I'll do my best, you know. I wanna continue to talk about bad eating habits. Bad eating habits. Bad eating habits will take us to our graves. You know, a few of the people are honest enough to say that they've done the wrong things with their diet. When I see them, a few of them will say that. Others wouldn't because they're accustomed to doing those things, you know? But the sad thing is, we are finding that more and more persons are having cancer, more and more persons are coming down with conditions that are, you know, that really shouldn't happen. More diabetes, more hypertension. We're talking about suicide. We're committing suicide with our teeth. We are committing suicide with our jaws. We're killing ourselves. But it's not a big deal because it's not being addressed like somebody who hang themselves. You know, when you compare the people who commit suicide with their teeth to the persons who hang themselves, it's like, you know, a dime in a bag of rice. Seriously. More and more persons are becoming afflicted with cancer, with hypertension, with diabetes, with lupus. Lupus? I'm seeing lupus like, you know, like it's common now. You know? More and more persons are suffering with their bones from arthritis because they're not eating right. Not eating right. There are more people who are sick from eating the wrong foods than those who are sick from other things. Here's the other factor. More and more persons are being found with mercury, cadmium, and lead, and DDT. Cadmium, mercury, lead, and DDT. We find more of those things in persons now than we've ever seen before. What is going on? I really don't understand. I can't seem to put my finger on it. You know, I have ideas, but, you know, I mean, they're not conclusive. Why are we having more persons showing up with cadmium in their bodies, mercury, lead, and DDT? It means that we're using these byproducts or dangerous items somehow on a regular basis, more often. We know for a fact that the fish from the sea is very contaminated now. There are lots of mercury in fish. Maybe that's it. We also know for a fact that we're not really getting unleaded fuel here as we're supposed to. We're breathing in a lot of lead from the gas. I don't know if you know that, but I don't know if we really get unleaded fuel here. I don't know. Some people say so, but I don't know. It's possible. If it's possible, if it's so, then why are we having so much lead? Is it the paint? Is it the tin stuff that you're eating that is not properly coated inside? What is it? Is it the food that you're eating that may be coming from the bottom of the ocean, like the shrimp and the crabs and everything else? You know? I don't know. I think that instead of you spending time browsing your phone and your tablets, doing nonsense, if you care, spend some time investigating what is it that's causing your problems today. I give you 4 items: mercury, lead, DDT, and cadmium. Go online and check them and see what's the sources of those things. And see if you are a person who's consuming foods that contain those things. And if you care for your life and your health, maybe you'll change your habits. You know? Cigarettes, dangerous stuff. That has a lot of all sorts of things inside. Yes, cigarettes. Barbecue chicken or barbecue meats. You know? I don't know, but people are living they're living shorter lives here now than they've ever lived before. I don't know if a study is done or if a study has been done about the lifespan of Guyanese people here in Guyana. I bought some pineapples the other day. This is just Sunday night. And I can't believe that I'm tasting pineapple that's tasteless. The pineapple has no taste. It's like water pine. I can't believe it. Lots of pineapples are wrong, but you have a hard time finding ones that are sweet. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's happening. You know, but there's a need for organic farming in this country. There's a dire need for organic farming. If not, we're going to keep losing the population, not only to migration, but to death. Yes. Because many of the persons who probably should be able to vote will be dead or in hospital, can't even know where they are because they're so sick. Can't raise a finger. I don't know, man. I'm puzzled, and it doesn't happen very often. I'm puzzled as to what's going on now in our country. I understand that this was seen just the other day, that people are taking their children to school on donkey carts because they can't afford the fares to send them to school. You know, that came to me last night. And I mentioned it on my program last night. That families are taking their children to school on donkey carts. They may be going shopping on donkey carts too. What are we going back to? What's really happening? You know, maybe we need to go back to that because it might save some of the lead from being in the environment. You know, and you could take the donkey poop and you could probably put it in a garden. You know? But I think I think that in many instances we're going backward. Never mind the oil thing that is being propelled. Never mind. Take some of that oil money and put it in the roads. Fix the roads. You know? Put it in programs that people can get in there and farm, produce goods that are organically grown. Take some of that money. Exxon, take some of that and put it into places where we can give people sustainable lives. You know? Do some of that. Finance some industries that can produce chicken and vegetables and so, greens, without chemicals. Put some money there and give people hope for longer lives in this country. It's okay to put it into sports. I am 100% behind that. Because sports is what I believe makes a difference in many people's lives. We're not putting it enough in sports, because by now we should have successful Olympians coming out of Guyana again. It happened many years ago. Happened since Burnham time, I think. You know, we haven't had much success with that lately. Why? We should be getting better. It means that our focus has been maybe diverted. Yes, we perform at certain levels, but what about the higher levels? You know, let's invest in some facilities and some coaches and some academies that we can have the folks that are interested in those sports, those areas in sports, be concentrated there so that they can you know, take themselves maybe to the point where they're succeeding in whatever it is they're here to do. I think many talents go wasted because we don't take them to higher levels. I think so. You know, some people may not agree, but that's too bad. That's the reality. When is the last time we had a successful Olympian that really brought gold medal or a few gold medals back? When was the last time? You know? Yes, we perform in the Carifta Games and so on, but that's okay. That's a certain level. What about the highest level? What are we doing about getting to the highest level? I'd love to know. You know, so when you invest in sports, the mediocre level is fine. That's okay. You got to start somewhere. But let us get academies going. Let us get facilities going, so that we can bring coaches in from wherever they have to come from. You know, pay them to take our youths and our Olympians, potential Olympians, to levels where they can perform and bring medals back and put Guyana on the map for real. I mean, yes, the oil, big thing oil, but that doesn't really make... Look at the oil countries. Look at the countries who produce oil. Look at them and see what is happening with them. Much of that doesn't come down to the small man. You know, much of that doesn't change the lives of people. No, it goes into the pockets of the ones who are drilling it and who are, you know, benefiting from allowing people to drill it and so on. So I don't really depend on oil. I don't really see no big deal about oil. I see big deal about agriculture. Because I don't care how good the person is who's producing the oil. If they don't eat, they're going to die. Spend money in agriculture. Spend money in agriculture that is organically produced. That is where we got sportsmen and women, fine, no problem. If they don't eat, they're going to die. They can't perform without eating properly. So you spend money on the areas where you can produce and provide the necessities to keep people healthy and strong so that they can do the things that they are designed to do. I know some of you don't like what I'm saying, but that's too bad. It's the reality. And some of you can't take the reality. You can't take it. You know, I'm not afraid of the reality. The reality is we've got to refocus. We've got to refocus on doing things that benefits people in reality, in the real sense. In the real sense, meaning you're producing something, produce something good. Be it an athlete, be it a product of food, be it whatever it is. Produce it to the highest level so that, you know, at least you can get to the highest level. That's what I want to see. And we need people in places who can make those things happen. Many people are in places can't make that happen. They don't have the vision. They don't have the vision. They don't have the focus. They're not interested. And that's the reality. If not, you would see it happening already. You know? I don't want to really get started with that. It's a health program. But I'm concerned about what happens in our society, and I'm concerned about what happens at the dinner table. At the dinner table today, people are consuming foods that are laden with chemicals. And I have a problem with that, because I have to do it too. The difference is I can find it, and I can detoxify myself. The average person doesn't know it, and they can't do it. And they come down with illnesses, and the next thing you know, they're in hospital, and they're dead. And that's a problem. Because it's coming from foods that they're consuming. Anyhow, I got a clip that was sent to me by a friend regarding a very important matter, and I really hate to do it now, but we're going to do it now, and then we're going to take some calls and see how best we can help some people to maybe deal with some issues. So, V, if you got the thing geared up, just let it go, and then I'll come back in when it's done, and we'll open up the lines and take some calls.
I have spent 35 years of my life working in an industry, the pharmaceutical industry, and they do nothing but annihilate the population of this world. And why do they do that? Because they want to make money, 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 money. They don't care about your lives. They only care about their wallets. My hands are just as dirty as these people. The pharma industry gave me a good job, and I felt that I was in medicine because that's what I studied. So I started as a salesman. And as I moved up in my career, where I eventually became a director for a company in Sweden, the affiliate company of one of the largest and most evil pharma corporations in the world, Eli Lilly and Company, because I was part of the evil. I had a career. I did a lot of bad things. They fired me. I started my own company, worked for several other pharma companies, big ones, world players. People dying from taking medication that was legalized because I had bribed the Swedish government to get the Sulaso for Prozac in Sweden. Now, can you imagine that? Sweden is reputedly one of the cleanest, most transparent countries in the world. They have the Nobel Prize of Medicine. The Americans, they love the prestige of the Nobel Prize. That is why it was important for them to get the registration of Prozac. What is the pharma industry doing to us? They're the most powerful industry in the world. They sleep in the same bed with governments. They use corruption to get what they want. Corruption involves money. They have lots and lots and lots of money, and that is how they make their money. They also kill more people than the wars we have in the world. We need the pharma industry because there are some good things out there, but most of it is rubbish. They're not interested in curing any disease you may have. They're more interested in making you get diseases. They're interested in symptomatic treatment. They want patients who are diabetics, cardiology patients, Parkinson's disease, rheumatoid arthritis, arthrosis, because you live a long time and the drugs that you have to take, you take that for the rest of your life. Eli Lilly and Company was fined, Strafgeld, by the Justice Department in Pennsylvania, in America. $1.4 million for one product that I have written about in this book 2 years ago. That product was used to treat, it was a neuroleptic, a psychodrug that was approved to be used on schizophrenics. So this company wasn't satisfied with that. They went and sold the drug to old people's home because they say it wouldn't cost so much to be there in this home because you give them this pill and the old people will sleep. So the workers wouldn't have any problems at night. But what they didn't figure on was that this drug had the side effects, which, by the way, before it came out, they had hidden under the table the clinical results of these side effects. A lot of people died of heart failure, kidney problems, and whatever. The patients that received this drug, it's called Zyprexa, also got diabetes. And who is the largest diabetes medication producer in the world? Eli Lilly and Company. Speculating. So they were taken to court and they were fined. It's the largest strafgeld in the history of the nation. Now, there are a couple of other companies that were fined heavily for other drugs in the pharma industry. And these are huge companies. But it never came out. You know why? Because the press works also with the pharma industry just like the government does. The pharma companies use the media to implant its dirty work on you. Don't take for granted what your doctor is telling you, because the doctors these days, they don't know much about medicine, and they don't care much about their patients. They think about how much they can get paid. And this is how the pharma industry reigns, stays in power. They buy the doctors. They pick them up when they're in medical school, pay their tuition,
Die Konzerne
train them. Because the doctors don't get information from anywhere else except the pharma industry. And I know, because when I was a salesman, the pharma company used to tell me, never talk side effects. They taught us something called FAB, F-A-B, features, advantages, and benefits. I also know that they hide the dangerous side effects because I was in charge of a clinical study for Fluctine or Prozac. When the doctors came rushing into my office one day because we were running a small trial in one of the largest hospitals in Stockholm.
Yes.
The first week they started the trial, 2 of the patients tried to commit suicide. And this is a major side effect of these psychotropic drugs. They call them the SSRIs, serotonin, selective serotonin reuptake inhibitor. The pharma industry, by law, is not obliged to give out information like that. Have you guys heard of ADHS or ADHD? But all these years I've been in medicine, nobody can come and tell me up till now what ADHD is. Syndrome makes it a sickness. Since they can't prove that this is a sickness, they changed the S to D, calling it disorder. And when it comes to that kind of disorder, for example, how do they measure serotonin in the brain of a child? Do you know how to do it, doctor? With a Ouija board. That's one way. They get the psychiatrists to sit down, you know, with their little bow ties. Psychiatrists, these are mad people. They sit every year, and they sit in a room, and they make up what they call the Bible for psychiatry, the DSM. If this Bible was so good and so needed and does an exact job, why did they change the rules in this Bible during the last few years so many thousands of times? So they're targeting the children. They're calling these new fancy diseases. They're targeting them with these drugs. Stratera, Prozac, Ritalin, Paxil, Zoloft. I don't know about you guys in here, but that's not going to happen to my kid. Never, never.
Well, well, well. I didn't make that. I don't know the doctors. I didn't put it out there. It is information that I knew a long time ago. That is the reason why I chose the natural side of medicine when it comes to medication versus the conventional side. Yes, like he said, we do need applications of drugs at times, but you want to try very hard to allow your foods to be your medicines and your medicines to be your foods. You really want to try doing that. I think if we can understand the philosophy of that, then we will eat healthier. Then we will have less diseases. Then we will live longer. And then we would want to plant organic foods, you know, because it all adds up and makes sense. Because I've said it over and over, year after year, and I've been doing this program since 1993. Not here alone. Channel 9 with Roger Moore, Channel 16 or 72 at Halagala, and I'm here now. But I've been around for many years, folks, and I'm saying the same thing over and over and over again. You're digging your grave with your teeth, and you're eating yourselves into your graves. I've been saying that, you know? And drugs don't heal. The body has to heal itself. But what the body needs is assistance when it has diseases. With whatever it is that you take, it should assist the body in overcoming whatever the crisis is that you were able to get yourself into by making the mistakes that you made. You understand? I don't know how much longer I'm going to be having to say this before you get the message. The message that you should get is that you need to take good care of your own life. Don't depend on the doctor and the hospital. Yes, the doctor needs to be able to diagnose you and hopefully give you the correct diagnosis. You know, that's another story, right? And then you take it from there and you get the right kind of medicines that can work with your body so you can overcome whatever it is that's wrong with it. Bottom line. Thank God we have a device that's guaranteed accurate in the world, 96%. Diagnosis, treatment, and its ability to make the medicines, naturally. Some of you don't believe it, but it's not me, it's made, it's out there, it's in the world, you know, it's been around 16 years, right? We just able to get it, fortunately, 6 years now, going in 6. It's been around for 16 years, used in Europe in every major hospital. Yes. So it's no fad, it's no joke, it's reality, it's real. If it tells you you got a flea bite or a tick bite, you believe it. A tick bite you some time ago and you didn't know it. You know what I'm finding too? A lot of chikungunya. Mosquitoes are still doing their damage. Finding a lot of chikungunya in people. And they don't even know they have it, but they have the symptoms. Lots of salmonella. Lots of E. coli. Why? Forget it. Laden with worms. Loaded with worms, I was going to say. Laden with worms. People, adults, you think only children get worms? Most of you have worms in your body and don't even know it. Most of you. Anyway, enough of me blabbling my mouth. I hope that I give you a belly full and something to think about. Some of you, you know, I can't really help you because you don't believe anything. But one of these days, it will hit home. And then you're going to see. Right? But we'll take some calls. We'll open up the lines and try to see who who got some issues that, we can, give some assistance with. And hopefully, with the application, you'll be able to overcome whatever it is that might be affecting you. Lots of things are wrong with people. I mean, lots of things. I sometimes I see things come up that I wonder, where did this come from? I've never been taught this disease. Where did this one come from? In people. It's amazing. It's amazing stuff. Good evening.
Yeah.
Turn the volume of your television down for me.
All right. Hold on. Hold.
All right. When you call and the phone rings, turn the volume down. That way, when I answer, if I do, and you're fortunate, you wouldn't get the feedback, right?
Okay.
Are you there? All right. How can we help you?
Yeah, Dr. Haynes. I got a problem where my white corpus is slightly higher than the red. And that only started like 3 months ago. And why one of the things that I discovered is that a day I feel my penis was paining, and when I squeezed it, blood started coming out. I went to the doctor, and then they sent me for a blood test, and then I recovered that.
You overcame that.
Yeah.
But now you did the screening, and your white blood cells are greater than your red.
Yeah.
Well, it just means that there's something happening in you that still hasn't been resolved, and the body is trying to fight.
Okay.
Something is going on in there, either a virus or a bacteria or something that the body is trying to, to overcome. But apparently, it's maybe very strong, or it's been there for a long time.
What would you advise?
You got to get screening so we could find what it is.
Okay.
You got to get to the clinic, and we'll find what it is.
Okay.
And that way, we'll be able to deal with it. Your penis wouldn't bleed like that unless there's something going on, something broke. What caused it is what we need to find out. Did you ever know what caused that?
No, I just find that a day just like that, I just feel this pain, and squeezing the penis after getting this pain, squeeze, and blood starts to spill out.
Maybe you ruptured something. You probably squeezed it too hard. But maybe something was wrong, and it decided that it's time for you to know. Okay? So call the clinic, make an appointment, get down there. Let's screen you and see what is happening inside of you.
Okay.
I can't really tell you what's going on in there. Could be a number of things.
Okay. So when can I check you?
Call the girls in the morning,
Okay.
and let them know it's an urgent situation and you need to get down there.
Okay.
All right?
All right.
Okay, my brother. Take care.
Thanks very much.
Sure, bye. Yeah, man. I like to work from a point of knowledge. I don't like to work. I mean, yeah, you can. Some things you can almost accurately know what they are, but some things, they may resemble other things that but they may not be the same. And we find out a lot. And the wrong thing that you want to do is to treat from a point of ignorance. Meaning that you're treating because you think it's something. I don't like doing that. I don't think that's a good idea. You don't want to think, when you treat, you want to treat knowing that this is what you treated. I prefer to do that, right? And I think that you should prefer that also because, you'll be doing the right thing. It could be an infection. It could be a urinary infection or a bladder infection. It could be a prostate problem. It could be anything. But there's got to be something, because if the white blood cells are are building up. It means that there's something, some sort of a virus that is that's present that we need to deal with. Need to find it and deal with it. You know. Here's what we're also finding. We are also finding that many persons have STDs unknowingly. Yes, sexually transmitted diseases, not knowing that it's there. How could that be? It could be because you have no symptoms. It became dormant or was transmitted in a dormant state, and you don't know it's there. You don't know it's there. You know, so I think, you know, I applaud you for calling and you know, trying to seek the advice and the help, because a lot of men don't do that. You know, they would probably get some hot water, some ice, something, and put on it. Good evening.
Good evening, Dr. Haynes.
Good evening to you, and how are you?
I'm blessed.
Very good. Where are you calling from? What area?
Fire, Patterson, Turkine.
Turkine. Are you kind?
Yes, Dr. Haynes.
Okay, nice. How can I help you?
I was diagnosed with H. pylori, and I'm losing weight. And, you know, medically, they just give you a diet sheet. No diet to go on. They treat it, but it's still there. So I'm seeking some advice.
All right. This is what I tell the patients who come, the persons who come to me with H. pylori.
Okay.
It will never leave you
Okay.
if you continue to use flesh.
If you?
Continue to use flesh.
Well, I stopped
Flesh.
that because I checked my blood group, and it's A.
Okay.
So I have some information on that.
So you don't use any type of flesh.
No, I stopped it.
How long ago?
It's about a month or so.
Okay. So it's only recent.
Pardon me?
It's recent.
Yeah, recent.
Secondly, you should not use anything hot.
No, I stopped that too.
Good.
Right.
Very good. You're on the right path. Thirdly, H. pylori will not go unless you get the right medicines
To treat it.
to treat it. Not antibiotics,
I know, that's so true.
because that's what you'll get.
That's so true, to destroy the bacteria.
It destroys not only the bacteria, maybe, it doesn't really hides it. That's what it does.
Oh, it tried it.
Because many persons would come to me or to come to our clinic and they say, well, I had H. pylori, but I still have this, you know, this burning or whatever. I got this
It's on the
kit,
belching.
I got this kit and whatever, and I took it and it's gone now, but I still have this problem. So can you tell me when it is? When we check, very bad H. pylori.
Okay.
Worse H. pylori. So what drugs does for the most part is cover or coat things,
I understand, like the capsule when you put a coat over it.
something like that.
Right.
Exactly like that. You know, and it's a sad thing because you really want to help people to overcome conditions.
Okay.
And you want to administer whatever it is you have to administer that can help them and help the body, because the body has to do it. Okay? Help the body to overcome whatever it is affecting it. Now, the other thing that needs to happen is that you've got to get to the point where once you can destroy the bacteria, you've got to build back the flora in your stomach. That's very important.
I know.
Right? You got to build back that line, that coating in your stomach. And if not, you wouldn't have proper digestion. You'll still have the gases, the belching, the acids, everything. Right? So you need to get to the clinic, because you can't do it at home. Get to the clinic.
No, I know. I missed you last night.
Oh, you missed me last night.
Yes, I missed you last night, and I wanted to come down there today, but I said, oh God, I don't know where is it.
Oh, well, you see,
So I took the number
yeah,
tonight.
take the number and call.
So call you in the morning.
Okay, call the girls, speak with them, set up something, come down. We'll help you. No problem. H. pylori is not a big deal.
Tomorrow, what time?
Call them after 8.
After 8.
Or just
All
about
right,
8.
I'll do so.
Okay?
All right, nice. meeting with you. So tomorrow I look forward to see you.
I hope so.
I
Depends on the girls and what is happening tomorrow. But call them and let them know that, you
just
know, we spoke.
okay. If not tomorrow,
Normally
maybe
it's by
next week.
normally it's by appointment, but tell them you need to get it taken care of early, okay?
Oh, okay, good.
All right, thanks for calling.
Okay, have a blessed night.
You too, my dear.
Good, bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Yeah, so that's, you know, I mean, it's, look, I'm not really knocking any industries. It's not my intention. I'm not knocking any physician. It's not my intention. I am knocking the process. Because if we are real humanitarians, if we consider ourselves to be humanitarians and not, you know, persons who are out there just because of the fame and the fortune, if we are real humanitarians, then you want to be you want to be in a position where you can help a human, another human. Good evening.
Good evening, Doc. How are you?
I'm good, you know. How you doing?
Doc, I would like to come off of that topic and ask something else, if I may.
Oh boy.
It's about cholesterol, right?
Oh, that's the same health topic. That's fine. No problem. Go ahead.
If the cholesterol is low, you still have to take the cholesterol tablets.
No.
You avoid that.
If it's low, why are you taking it?
Okay. Thank you. And what about the creatine? What? Let's concern about kidneys that take a person that take in dialysis, right?
Uh-huh.
What about if your creatine is high? What could I do for that? And your bond is high, real high. Then your bond is real high. Your bond now real high.
It means that we're having either a lot of bacteria or viruses that are affecting the kidneys.
Yeah.
You know, and it is actually not doing its work as it should. So we've got to get to the bottom of what is affecting the kidney.
The kidneys is bad, right?
Right,
now,
but what is it that is causing it to be bad? Look, there's a gland that is hardly spoken about, which is called the islets of Langerhorn.
okay.
That is a gland that is there in your body to protect your pancreas. Okay?
Yes, sir.
Now, if you consume foods that are going to clog it up, then the pancreas is going to be exposed. If the pancreas is exposed, then your blood sugar is going to go high. If you're hypertensive and you're not doing the right things, you're going to have a problem with your kidneys.
Yeah.
Okay? So we've got to, you know, we got to remember that this is one body system we're dealing with.
Yeah.
And if something is affecting one area, then it's going to affect other areas because it's one body system.
Yeah.
So when you're talking about treating a condition, you've got to talk about treating a body system, not the condition. You following what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
So we need to, you know, I'm trying to educate people here all the time. And we've got to get to the point where we understand that if the finger has a problem, the body has a problem. You understand? If the toe has a problem, the body has a problem. Because the toe is not separate from the body. If the kidney has a problem, then the body definitely has a problem.
Yeah.
So we've got to work with the body system, find out what it is that is wrong and wherever it is that is wrong, and then we correct those things. And then eventually the body will come around.
Could a person that's taking dialysis will ever come off of dialysis?
It happens a lot. Happens a lot.
That could reverse.
It happens a lot. I'm telling you, it happens a lot. The dialysis doesn't mean, the dialysis should not be permanent unless the kidney is gone. And listen, let me say this to you.
Yes,
The kidney is not gone if you're not dead.
okay.
You put the two and two together. If it was really gone, why are you still living? Why is it still in there? That means it's not functioning as it should.
Yeah.
And you got to find out why and try to make something that happen that can correct that. Got it?
Yes, so that is...
You need to have an analysis done on your body to see what is all happening with it, and then you work from there.
So there is a possibility you could come around, but you are which case change.
Well, you come around there, or you call there, and you schedule a time, and you come, and we take a comprehensive look at your body and see what is all wrong with it. That's the only way to deal with it.
Okay, sir.
You can't imagine it and fix it. You got to know what is happening and then deal with those.
Okay, sir.
Got it?
And then the person is taking dialysis. You can still come around though, right?
I'm saying it over and over.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, sir.
All right.
Okay.
Right. Maybe he's trying to be assured. Good evening.
Hi, good night, Dr. Haynes. How are you tonight?
I'm fine, thank you. And how are you?
I'm okay. I am glad to hear that you say you're making a difference in the life of others. You hardly have people who do those things. God put us on earth as a blessing, and we must use our life to be blessing to others. And I don't think a lot of people think that way. They think to be caring, you have to have a lot of money. Right? And I know caring is an action word, and we need a lot more persons who can make meaningful contribution to society. Anyway, I had called sometime during the week, and I think Channel 2, the phone wasn't working good, right?
Okay.
Talk about the system I. That according to the doctor, is a mass. I think she got mass, and she got something about DXCHALAZZION. I know what that means.
I'm not following you. I'm not following you. You called in the week about something here on Channel 2?
Yeah, and the night when you had the program, but then the phone wasn't working properly.
Oh, no, that program was not. That program was probably a recorded program.
No, I called live concerning, I told you I have a cyst in my eye.
Oh, you spoke with me on the program? Not a few days ago, some time ago.
It was, I think, this the same week here.
No, wait, at the clinic?
No, at the night program that you normally keep.
Here?
It's 220 number.
On Channel 16?
Channel 16, yes.
Okay, on Channel 16.
Yeah, what the doctor said, according to her...
Oh, okay, that was last night.
I think it's I can't solve
It's last night, because last night the phone wasn't working good at all.
When I asked about the Andrews liver salt.
Yes, it's last night. I remember that. Mm-hmm.
She says a mass on the eye, but I think she got some examination findings. I don't understand the medical term, DX, and she got CHALAZZION. I don't know what it means.
Well, there's got to be some information that goes before and after that. But that is probably a diagnosis. It most likely is a diagnosis.
It's like I have piece on my eyelid. It's not affecting my eyes, but it looks ugly on your face. And she said, I got to go and get it cut. But I don't really want to do that.
It's a sclera, probably. Sclera.
Okay.
Sclera on the eye.
Okay.
Where you would normally have to scrape it.
Okay. But is there any other thing you could do besides that?
There is, but it takes a long time. And it's not a dangerous surgery to do it, because I've had persons who've done it, and they're still okay, not a problem.
I'm scared.
No, you don't need to be scared. It's not today.
I don't think I'm calling about.
Not in today's world.
Okay. I got my family. She's going through menopause, right? Mm-hmm. But she was telling me today she has a continuous burn through the body, including under the feet. Is it a menopausal problem or some other problem?
Is she diabetic? Is she diabetic?
The last time she checked, she said she's not. But I told her to check it back once you have burning on the feet, maybe in the nerves or something like that.
It has to do with her circulation and her nerves, and indeed she may have a problem with blood circulation, and or maybe her arteries may be damaged.
But is it can be menopausal problem too, with her having the burning throughout the body?
I don't connect that with menopause. No.
And not hot flashes. She says hot flashes.
Hot flashes
There's
gives
something
you.
She's having.
Hot flashes doesn't continue.
I told her that this afternoon.
It doesn't continue. It is not continuous. If she's
Okay.
having the burning continuous, it's got to be something else.
Right.
She needs to be screened.
Okay. Another thing, I wanted to be a vegetarian, but the thing is, what are they? What other substitute you have for meat protein instead of beans?
Everything that you eat has protein.
Everything?
Yes, even a fly has protein. Believe it or not.
It's like can of beans and cheese and soy chunks. You have any other thing?
It is just that you may not get the amount of protein that you require out of one product, but everything has protein. Everything, you know, I mean, and protein doesn't only come from animal. People are given a wrong impression that you only get protein from animal foods. That's not factual. You've got, this is a computer age. You can Google and see, everything has got protein inside.
Okay.
Just pick what you want and eat it. And if you want to be a vegetarian, it's a good time because there's so much available. Okay?
Okay.
Let me get some other people a chance.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Good evening.
Yes, President, good evening to you, Doctor.
Good evening to you, my brother. Where are you calling from? What area?
I'm calling from Alberta.
Okay, all right. I used to be there.
Yes, yes. A little while back, you had given
A formula?
formula for a pain that people normally have under the heels.
Okay, okay. Yeah, magnesium. Magnesium.
Yes, the pain kind of goes and comes, you know.
Yeah, if it's heel spur, perfect thing is magnesium. And we've got some in just yesterday. So if you can't get it, then you can check the clinic.
Yes, I will check the clinic.
All right?
Yes, thanks a million.
You're welcome. Yeah, that was not complicated. And there are lots of people who are having heel spurs, and that is coming from the deposits of excessive amount of calcification, and you accumulate it on your heel, and when you get up in the morning, you can't put your foot down because it sticks you, you know, and then you got to walk it out, that kind of thing, right? Heel spurs. Look, it doesn't take a scientist, a rocket scientist, to understand what is needed to have a painless life. One quick call. Good evening. We have to be quick. Good evening.
Hello, good evening.
Hi. We got to be quick because you only have a minute.
Yeah, I just want to find out, or could you advise me, what must I do for lose weight? Because I can't my nutrition, that I'm overweight.
Okay. All right. You got to change what you're doing with your foods. Cut the oils, cut the fats, cut the starches in excess, cut the sugars. Okay? Eat more foods. Your volume on your television is high. I'll continue off the air. Sorry about that. The volume is in the frame of the studio. Eat more foods that are like vegetables, fruits, greens. Drink more liquid like juices and water, right? Get on a program where you're exercising. You know, burn some of the calories walking. That makes a difference. Quick last call. Good evening.
Hi, good night.
Good night. We only have a few seconds.
Okay, just a quick question. Actually, my mom, she had diagnosed with diabetic stage 2 like around 2 weeks ago. So I'd just like to know like what she should use, like to eat.
What you need to do is change her diet with as far as her fats are concerned and her sugars. Cut the fats, cut them out. Cut the sugars for a while, okay?
Yeah.
Use more.
What I find is like her sugar was like 390 first when she diagnosed it, and then she tested back like 2 weeks, so it was like 180.
It's fluctuating because of what she eats and what she drinks.
Fluctuating, correct.
Yeah, so she needs to have a diet. A diet that is free of fats and free of sugars.
Yeah,
okay?
what she's finding is she's saying like
time is up for me.
Sorry.
Try what we suggest and see what happens, okay?
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. All right, I'm sorry that we got to go. Time is up. We don't want to infringe on anything else because we don't want to make it bad for next time, right? I want to thank you for participating. It was very good and my pleasure addressing issues with you. Hope that you learned some things. You know, follow some rules for change that will help you to be a better person. And you know what? We need to start caring more for each other. Instead of knocking each other and beating each other up, let us do what is in the best interest of picking someone up and helping them along the way. That's where we need to be. All right? Dr. Haynes saying good night. God bless you. Have a wonderful weekend. So long.